Now is the time to raise our consciousness. I'm Reverend Andrew Bozeman, and this is On the Wings of Your Mind. Today is Monday, March 15th. Well, today is Monday, March 15th, 2021. My, how the time flies. And I am here today to talk to you about raising our consciousness. We continue our discussion on the need to elevate the consciousness, our consciousness, and the consciousness of the planet. I spoke to you last week, about the fact that our evolutionary process seems to have stopped. We seem to be stuck in our animal consciousness as opposed to our upper level rational consciousness. And so as a result, we're dominated by our impulses and our emotions. We're driven by the need for domination and winning at all cost. And if we lose, we want revenge. Our political parties are more hostile to each other than they have ever been in the last 100 years, which means we're dangerously divided, with one side refusing to talk to the other, therefore getting almost nothing done. Racial animosity is rising rapidly, with name-calling between blacks and whites getting worse, and hate crimes against Asians are increasing. Now Asians are being attacked at 3 times the rate that they were only a few years ago. Violence on the rise. 53% rise in some areas of our country, while in other areas there has been a decrease of 45%. Of course, we hear about the averages, so we don't panic. So according to the averages, there's just an 8% rise in violent crime. But we know better. Of course, that's not what the people who live in that area where this 53% rise is happening in their lives. Not a pleasant place to be. And we can't look to our governments to help us. Too many of the people in our governments seem to be preoccupied with settling personal vendettas or listening to the demands of the corporations that hire lobbyists and give them bags full of money to talk to the lawmakers and get them to create laws for the benefit of the corporations, rather than solving the real problems of the little people who are the constituents. We're the ones who voted them in. So, all in all, we're living in a nightmare. We seem to have very little or no power at all. We're witnessing scenarios where bombing and threats of attack seem to be taking the place of communication and negotiation. Is this what we really want to call civilization? Please click on the thumbs up button, and if you haven't already done so, please choose to subscribe. Remember, I would love to see your comments, thoughts, and questions on any subject. So if you're viewing this on Monday live, March 15th at 3 o'clock, then use the chat box on the right side of the screen. If you're viewing this at any other time, that means you're in replay mode, so you have to use the comment section below the screen. But remember the thumbs up button, which is also below the screen. So as I mentioned in my last broadcast, the higher spiritual beings who are here to guide us and help us have actually taken a step back. It's too crazy down here for them to intervene. They see this frenzy that we're in. It's taken hold of this planet, and they realize that they're going to have to watch it play out before they can see an opening that will allow them to step in to assist us. They can see that we are so caught up in this roller coaster of emotions that we seem to be having a tantrum of insanity. A tantrum. Things that are urgently important and earth-shattering one minute might be superseded in the next minute by another crisis that seems more important. We're in love one minute, and then we're at each other's throats the next. We're joyful, then we're depressed. We're laughing and hugging, and then we're murderous and we're shooting at each other. No wonder we sometimes feel like we're going crazy. We are. We really are. War, turmoil, conflict, despair, anger, resentment, revenge, jealousy, attack. All this negative energy around the world is a reflection of our consciousness. We, as the human beings on this earth, are bringing ourselves and this planet to ruin through our own destructive emotions. Now, according to the metaphysical guru, Neville Goddard, the world and all within it is man's conditioned consciousness objectified. Objectified. Consciousness is the cause as well as the substance of the entire world. So it is to consciousness that we must turn if we would discover the secret of creation. That's from Neville Goddard, metaphysical teacher. And that's from his book, Feeling is the Secret. So what's the first thing we need to do? We need to stop. Just stop. Let's take a time out. Let's go to our respective corners in between rounds, sit down, and get quiet. We are so busy reacting that we don't have time to think. We are not going to find the answer while we're so busy punching and counterpunching. We can only find the answer when we go deep inside where peace lives. We must go inside and find that unlimited source of love and wisdom, peace and harmony. We've got to go to that place where our connection to infinite intelligence is waiting. It's waiting. It never went away. It never goes away. It's the force that gives us life. But we have to learn and we have to realize that our physical reality is only the end result. It is not the beginning, it's the end result. It's only the reflection of our internal state. So what we see in our physical reality is a reflection. It's like looking into the mirror. So if we want to see change, we don't change the mirror. We change what's being reflected in the mirror. Our consciousness, us, we make the change. Remember Michael Jackson said, I'm looking at the man in the mirror and I'm asking him to change his ways. We are the man in the mirror. Our consciousness is key. Our consciousness creates what we see reflected back to us as physical reality. No, it's not just your consciousness. I'm not blaming it all on you. No, it is the combined consciousness of all of us. You know, no one person rules this world. It's all of us together and our consciousness that is creating this madness. But you know what? The truth is, most people have no control over their consciousness. In fact, they don't even know they have one. They're not aware that they have a consciousness to control. So they have no idea that they can change it. They are just riding the wave, or they try to resist the wave and get crushed. But they are not in control because they are still asleep. But you are not. You are not powerless. You know better. If you're watching me and listening to me, then you are different. You know differently. You have a higher level of awareness. You know the truth. You have a greater sense of your own power to change your consciousness. You already know. You already know that you're an individualized expression of infinite intelligence. Our consciousness can connect us to the world of light and color and joy and peace and harmony. Our consciousness can do that. And once that connection is made, it can radiate out into our physical reality and begin to bring about the changes that we so desperately need to happen. Our consciousness is capable of this. Our consciousness. How? By using the tools that we have available as spiritual warriors. Remember, we are individualized expressions of infinite intelligence. So we have the power to protect ourselves and to calm down our own lives. Then in turn, as you begin to affect your own life, you also begin to affect the lives of those around you and the situations around you. Of course, that's going to take discipline and perseverance to bring about the kind of changes you want in your life. Yeah, but it's not like you don't have tools. One simple tool we have at our disposal, if you remember, as a temporary fix, that is something you need right now to work in a stressful situation, to calm it down immediately, is the three-finger technique. You remember that? Putting together your thumb and first two fingers while you're calm, and then telling yourself that when I put these together, I will have calmness. I will meet calmness right away. My body will calm down. And you do that several times, programming this motion, programming it. I will find calm. When I put my three fingers together, I will find calm right away. Then after it's programmed, you can use it. When you're in stress, you can use it. When you're upset, you can use it. When you're in trouble, you can use it, because when you get calm, you're better able to bring the situation under control. This brings you calm. This brings you calm. You are that powerful. You are that powerful. But that's only a temporary situation, and it only affects you. So what would I like us to do? What I would like for us to do is take this entire planet to a higher level of consciousness. That's what I'd like for us to do. I think it is time for us to bring an end to this mess of materialistic turmoil that seems to be getting worse and worse with each passing day, polluting our lives. Remember, I told you a few months ago that the Maharishi International University did an experiment about 20 years ago, where less than 2,000 people meditated together for an extended period of time, over several days or weeks, and temporarily reduced the level of violence by 16%. So I'm saying that can be done on a larger scale, that we can affect the world. So I'm saying that if enough spiritual warriors begin to work together, we don't have to be in the same place. We just have to keep doing the same work, who are able to elevate the level of our own consciousness through regular, disciplined spiritual practice, then we as a unit, we as a force, we as a movement can begin to influence the consciousness of the planet in a powerful way and take it to a higher state of being and dramatically reduce the ugliness that is polluting our world today. We can do that. We can do that. I know that brings up a lot of questions for you, but we can do that. So how many is enough to make that happen? Good question. What kind of practice is needed to make it work? Good question. How long would it take? Another good question. Questions, questions, questions. Let's talk about the answers tomorrow. In the meantime, let's close with prayer. Thank you, Infinite Intelligence, for bringing us together in this life so we may become spiritual warriors and join in the work we have come here to do. Thank you, Infinite Intelligence, for bringing us into this space of awareness and a deeper understanding of ourselves and our relationship to life and infinite intelligence. Thank you for showing us who we really are. We open our minds and hearts to the truth of our being. We are the children of God. We are individualized expressions of infinite intelligence. And because we are part of the greater whole, we are beginning to understand our value to the continuity of life on this planet. As we become channels of your power, infinite intelligence, we can feel your presence within ourselves and within our lives more and more. And we know that as we feel your presence within our lives every day, we will rise, because we are no longer cut off from you by being immersed in the darkness of fear, anger, and the pain of unforgiveness. So we are now restoring our connection through the grace of forgiveness, knowing that as we learn to forgive ourselves for the pain that we have caused to ourselves, and as we learn to forgive those who have inflicted pain upon us, our connections will grow stronger, and our lives will grow happier and healthier and more prosperous. And for this, we are truly grateful. As above, so below, as within, so without, and so it is. Amen. Please click on the thumbs up button. And if you haven't already done so, please choose to subscribe. Remember, I would love to get your comments, your questions, your thoughts. So please use the chat box below the video and let me know what you're thinking. I am Andrew Bozeman, and tomorrow we're going to continue our discussion on how and why and what it's going to take to raise the consciousness not only of ourselves, but of the planet. It has to happen. We've got to save ourselves and the world along with us. In the meantime, I am Reverend Andrew Bozeman, and this has been On the Wings of Your Mind.